I'm not milking.
No, that's what I mean. Watch you not.
Watch me not milk. I'm not in this. There I am. This video is about silver linings.
If you want doom, gloom, fear, hype, you can turn on the news. We know this COVID virus is a scary thing. We get that, but we want to look at a silver lining today. You all know my feeling.
As a parent of young children, as a daughter of parents who are in the age bracket where the virus gets to be a little more dangerous.
Careful, they watch our videos.
Yeah, I didn't say old. We're just in a certain age bracket.
With just math.
With grandparents or even older, it's scary. We're probably all walking around with a little sense of anxiety right now, and we're doing the best we can to get by. But it's a scary time. And that's not what we want to focus on in this video. We know everyone's scared, we are too, we have that same anxiety. We want to talk about the silver lining that we're trying to find in this whole crazy virus outbreak. How's that?
That's great. I'm gonna let you both together just out in the middle paddock.
Yeah.
Jump on the hill, I don't know. Let's go, Miss Mill. Aw, that's fun. I knocked my camera over. Is that fun? It's fun to be out after it's been raining all day. This virus has given a lot of people a very special opportunity. And I know that sounds weird to say, like, this virus, it's killing people, it's causing fear and anxiety and worry. How could you think that that has an opportunity, a special opportunity with it? So just hear us out here, because this is a silver lining that a lot of you could be focusing on. We are certainly right now focusing on this silver lining, not looking at the storm, looking at what's behind it. So what is this opportunity for you and your family?
Another wide.
Nice.
Did you get any egg under the chicken? Don't put it in the egg curtain up there. It's a little dangerous to have an egg in your pocket. Okay, read that line again.
If you had told me 5 months ago, while I was sitting in the pediatric GI specialist office, listening to them say, like, we don't know why your baby is sick, but you can try this, that there was going to be a silver lining to that, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But having him diagnosed with these allergies really has changed our life, and it's been for the better. That's kind of what we're looking at the virus outbreak now as, a terrible thing that no one would wish for. You wouldn't wish it on anybody. But it can change your life in a good way. That's what we're saying with this coronavirus outbreak. It's not something any of us would wish on anybody. It's not something that we want to happen. And some people will be terribly affected by that. But for others who don't lose a loved one to this virus, it can be an opportunity to change your life in a good way.
So the fact is that every single day, unfortunately, people die. And your life usually continues on as normal unless you know the person who died. In this circumstance, this weird virus going around that is causing people to get sick, some of them are dying, it's changed all of our lives. For the first time, we were talking about this last night, in our adult life, some big kind of crazy, scary thing has happened since we've been adults and had children, and we're like seeing our everyday life be affected by this big thing. And for the first time I can remember, it's like a worldwide effect. You know, we lived through 9/11. We lived through, what are some other big things?
Some other outbreaks.
We've lived through some wars. We've lived through some different sicknesses that popped up. I remember West Nile and that coming out and them spraying down the roads for mosquitoes. But this is the first time I've seen it on a worldwide scale affecting everybody across the globe. It's affected some people in that they've gotten sick or they know someone that's sick. But for a lot of people, they've been affected. Maybe they've been sent home from work. Maybe they've been...
Yeah, schools have closed.
Schools have closed. Maybe you're working remotely at home. But for a lot of people I know, they're just at home right now. Kind of, I don't know, watching Netflix? What are we doing?
Well, being anxious, worried about the food chain supply.
Right.
Worried about toilet paper. Just a lot of worry.
Okay, so here is the job I have for you. Grab the feeder.
You're gonna mount it higher?
We're gonna mount it higher. So what we want, I want the rabbits to come in here. Now remember, this gets filled with straw pretty high. Okay, so grab our screws here. I want them to stand in this and only be able to eat like here. So basically where you should mount this is right here.
Do you have a pencil or something?
Well, that's a great idea. You know where we keep pencils in the workshop?
Is there
So
anything outside?
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave you. Here's your screws. Okay, you got 2 screws right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you to do this. I'm going to come back. You might have it finished. You might not. You might need some help. That's okay. Just try. Okay?
Alrighty.
You've done a lot with this stuff before? Huh?
We know from the comments that a lot of you have a desire to start homesteading. Maybe now more so than ever, but there's been a lack of time to start, or lack of money, or just it's hard to get going.
It's hard to have the motivation to actually start. You want to, but what's that trigger moment to make you start? We think this virus is a unique opportunity. So we were thinking, you know, for any of you out there who are home more now, maybe even if you're working from home, you're actually working less. So you have some time on your hands. There is a lot of talk right now in the United States about an economic stimulus package to help all the people who have been sent home from work. It hasn't happened yet. I don't know if you're going to get any money, but a lot of people, I think, are going to get some kind of economic stimulus while they're at home. And more than ever, there's this motivation to change something in your life. If you are one of the people, some of you we know are actually still working. There's the people who are, you know, there when we pull into Walmart to do Walmart pickup, who are working, rolling out the goods.
Medical field.
Yep.
All the life-sustaining jobs and businesses that need to keep going. And thank you.
Yeah, so if you are still busy working, we understand. All right, you're busy working. But for those of you who are
Express
not,
appreciation. We understand you're busy working.
I know, really. Like, I'm so glad when we go to Walmart or Tractor Supply, there's somebody there.
And doctors and nurses.
That is very important, obviously.
Truck drivers.
Yeah. So if you are still working. Thank you. So everybody's really grateful that those of you who are still working. But for those of you who are home more, who may be receiving some money while you're at home, and who have been waiting for the motivation to start homesteading, start being more prepared.
Let this be the moment.
This is your opportunity. She said I should stop. Oh.
Chicken food?
More on that in a second. But first, it's time for the Homesteady Camel Train shout out! Today's Homesteady Camel Train shout out goes to Diane. Diane is a fellow Connecticut escapee. She retired a couple of years ago and moved to Massachusetts. She had purchased land in a rural hill town. Ooh, that was a tongue twister for me. Back in 1998, she purchased the land for almost next to nothing, she said. Good on you for finding a good little piece and holding on to it so long, Diane. She lives in a log home. She's raising meat chickens, also egg-laying chickens, and she's planning on bringing quail in this year. We were close to doing quail this year. We went the way of the rabbit, but I'd like to try quail. Maybe that'll be next year. Her raised beds are all ready to go. Being in Massachusetts, she can't plant too much right now, but she's ready. She's also raising perennial vegetables and herbs and a variety of annuals. Diane's got some big plans. She wants some alpacas, Shetland sheep, rabbits, and meat goats. But she says no, not all at once. She's gonna play it smart and do a little bit at a time. She has a blog that she shares some recipes and some DIY homesteading stuff that you can check out. I'll have a link below for her blog. Go and check her blog out. Say hello from the Homesteady audience. Thank her for today's episode. We couldn't have done it without Diane. There you'll find her homesteading journal and definitely some recipes, so go check out her recipes. She says, P.S. I won't be doing camels, but she's fascinated to learn about them. So don't worry, Diane, you'll keep learning about camels as we keep producing camel train videos. Diane's website is goatsandgreens.wordpress.com, so go and give it a check out. One of her recent blog posts, she reviewed a few home food delivery services, which could help a lot of people out right now. So maybe go and see what she had to say about some different home food delivery services. She's also got a yellowfin tuna recipe up there right now that I'm looking at a picture of, and like my mouth is watering. It's almost lunchtime. That tuna looks really good, Diane. So thank you for being today's Camel Train ticket, Diane. We are 15 tickets left on the Camel Train. What you get when you join the Camel Train, you get this really cool one-of-a-kind t-shirt with your own little camel highlighted. You get a shout out on this show, so if you got a channel or a blog to plug, go ahead and let me know and tell us about what you're doing. But then you get a lifetime access to the Pioneer Program. The Pioneer Program is a library full of videos that are going to help you grow your own food, get started homesteading. We have all kinds of different experts in there. It's not all me teaching stuff, it's people who teach me stuff. The people I look to as sources of valuable information. I interview them and you get to enjoy those interviews. On demand, all access to those interviews. One-time payment, lifetime access to that. So go ahead and click there. There's 15 left, and then the Camel Train's over. You won't get lifetime access to the Pioneer Program once those 15 are gone. So go and check that out. And we will, well, let's get back to working in the barn and talking about how you should get started.
So for those of you who are at home, your commute's a lot shorter, you got a little bit of time on your hands.
Maybe some stimulus.
This is a good time to change your life for the better. See, not opportunity.
That was
a different
that
word.
Sounds nice.
Yeah,
change your life for the better.
Change your life for the better.
Because the fact is, this is going to end. If you look at the charts right now in China, in South Korea, where a lot of this started, if you look at the daily new cases of the virus, it has peaked and it is way down. So in 3 months' time, it went from crazy to lower every day. So this will end. And when this virus ends, a lot of people will be like, wow, that was crazy. Remember when we didn't have any toilet paper? and then life will go back to normal, and they will not be any more prepared for this to happen again, and they will not be homesteading, they will not be growing food on their homestead.
But chances are something like this will happen again. It's just the world that we live in. Pandemics, earthquakes, hurricanes. There are emergencies that happen that can kind of send the world into turmoil. Interrupt the food supply. Send people scurrying for safety.
We have seen that this chicken is just too loud.
And
Go take a look.
What's there?
All right. Okay, so first off, very nice job mounting it nice and level. That was some good work there. Now, what do you think about the height? Do you think it's a lot higher than it was? Let's see.
It was right here.
What's right here? So it is a little bit higher. Will it be enough?
I think so.
Get the poops out of there. That's the problem there. Yeah, I think. Because I think when the rabbits jump up, they can still jump up in there. So you did a perfect job, nice and level, looks great. But I think where it should be is probably like there.
I think that would be too high.
You think that would be too high?
Especially for the younger bunnies when they start.
Let's get a third opinion. Where's Mommy?
Hey, Daddy, look.
Look at that bunny. Nice. What do you think, Mommy? I think it needs to go up a little more. What do you think? You saw it? A little higher? Hey, the jury agrees. Let's go a little higher. Get that cute puppy. In case you were scared, have a look at
look
a
at
puppy.
a puppy.
We have seen how good it feels when there is no meat on the shelves, no milk on the shelves, to know that back at your homestead, there is literally meat growing, milk being produced every morning, not to have to worry about that, to have a little bit of control in the chaos.
Yeah, it's true. You are right. Right now is not a good time to try to stock up on toilet paper. It's not a good time to try to stock up on much at all right now.
We've noticed that stores are actually limiting how many supplies you can buy right now. So unfortunately, now is not the time to fill up your pantry and your deep stores and your toilet paper rack. But it's a great time to start homesteading.
Which seems crazy.
Why?
Because what are you gonna do now?
That's what we're supposed to tell them.
I'm just trying to say.
Oh, you're being devil's advocate. That's what you're doing. I see what you did there. You're setting me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, homesteading is probably not going to help feed you for the coronavirus right now. But again, I don't think this is the end of all things right here. And in a couple months, you could have some production from your homestead that you're enjoying. In a couple days, really. We already talked about this last week about sprouting. You can have sprouted greens. Video coming up on that soon. My first attempt at sprouting was a major failure.
Not major.
Minor, because it's sprouting.
It was a third successful.
You'll see that. Sprout With Me episode 2 is coming out.
The point is, you're not going to start a farm tomorrow, but you can start preparing for your future homestead and start kind of getting an image of what you want that to be.
If you're sitting at home, instead of watching the 9 to 5 Corona news, sit down with your family and start thinking, how could we be more prepared next time? Where were the holes? And that's what we've been doing. We have identified holes in our preparedness too, and we are now working to do better at that. That's why we started sprouting. So, did you not have enough meat? Could you grow some meat this year? Did you not have enough milk? Could you get some milk animals?
We were talking this morning. We do this pretty much every week. Get out our piece of paper. For us, our planning, what we're going to do, what we need, it all starts with a single piece of paper. All of us probably have a single piece of paper right now at home. So start your plan. Start brainstorming. Austin has taught me there's no negative with brainstorming. Just let the ideas flow. You love hearing me say this.
I do. You've learned.
I even thought about list your top 5 things you want to do. I want to milk dairy cows. I want to start a dairy cow herd share. and you've never done any cow anything before, is it a crazy idea? Maybe it's not the most practical thing, but put it down there and then get your list in order. Well, what do I need to do to get to that point? Do I want to go, do I need a little more land? Do I need to start with maybe something smaller just to get an idea of dealing with livestock? There's always a place to start.
And that's the point, is use this opportunity when you're home more. You're gonna get a little extra money, hopefully, to cover that time, and you have the motivation, wanting to be more prepared, more homesteady the next time something scary happens. Take this chance to do that with your family. Get started on a small project, even if it's just growing some herbs, some medicinal herbs in your windowsill. Start on something.
Yeah, some introspection. If you're in an apartment, do a little, put some seeds in a cup and have a little time to think about what you want to do.
And think about something other than the scary virus. Think about new possibilities and new life after the virus.
It might be you're thinking of a major life change. Now's not the time to do it, but in 6 months, it could be.
I want to say the thing we said about, we have found this last week, a week or two, we've been doing a lot more on how can we grow more food? How can we grow more food?
Us, you and
you
me.
And me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been like trying to fill the holes in our system.
Yes, because since we moved, we had slowed down on that. We were doing a lot more infrastructure work.
Yeah, so.
Which means our freezers are low.
Yeah, so we have been constantly all day like, how am I gonna get pigs? How am I gonna get sheep? How am I gonna have meat goats? And then like, she said something funny yesterday. She said, oh, just take 10 minutes off. You're getting worked up by this. Read about coronavirus, it'll calm you down. Because for us, the bigger concern right now is how do we get pigs here? Not how do we keep from getting coronavirus? Because we're quarantined, we're here at our homestead.
Right.
And we feel safe here at our homestead. And we have been getting that comment a lot, which is, well, yeah, of course you feel safe. Of course you're not scared. Your homesteading must be nice.
It must be nice. We've talked about this phrase before, it must be nice. Because we're on YouTube, so we make videos every day of what we do in our life. A lot of people look at us and what we have here and they say, well, it must be nice. You guys have a barn, you guys have property, you have UTVs, you have everything you need to homestead. It's easy for you guys, it must be nice. I think must be nice is a phrase our generation is using to kind of get them out of doing anything. If you say must be nice, what you're saying is, well, that person has it easy and I can't do it. So, it must be nice for them, but I can't do anything. It's not true. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was great.
And it's probably not just our generation.
I was gonna add that.
I have heard older generations say the same thing, must be nice.
It's not our generation.
No.
It's all.
Yeah, so it's humanity. It's always easier to look at what somebody else has and what somebody else is doing and say, well, it's easy for you, but I can't do it. We started, or should I say I started, after we got married. I started homesteading on my personal homesteading journey with a couple of cups and some tomato seeds on a 3rd floor apartment that Austin wanted no part of. Origin stories. So that first year, I was in it on my own with, want that one? With hardly any land. I could fit maybe 6 tomato plants and 2 green pepper plants there. Planted a little rhubarb. It just started to come up. My neighbor weed whacked it. I was waiting on my peppers to ripen and a friend picked it. So that whole first year, all that work I had put into it didn't get me very much. But it was a start. It got us started. It gave me the bug to do a little more, and it kind of planted a seed in Austin too.
Kay wanted to have a garden, and I didn't want to spend any more time digging in the ground than I already did. I was an excavator by trade. All day long I sweated in the sun, digging holes, and I just didn't want to have any part of that. But I was interested in getting some good quality meat for our family through hunting. Now, I didn't own a gun. I'd never shot one in my life. I didn't own a bow and arrow, never shot one of those. I had no friends to help teach me how to do this. My dad didn't hunt. My grandfather didn't hunt. I had no private land to hunt on. I owned zero land. The cards were totally stacked against me. I listened to a few podcasts about how to hunt. I read a couple books from the library. That's like total bootstrapping right there. I actually got a book about hunting out of the library. I bought a bow and arrow that turned out to be a pretty crappy bow, but it got the job done. I taught myself how to hunt. My first year went out and I marched around the woods and I spooked every deer out of the woods and I never got anything.
So we got pregnant, had our son, got pregnant again, moved to a property that was pretty much all rocks and trees. Not prime, pristine farm property. But we got a couple chickens. A few got eaten by a fox. The majority got eaten pretty fast. It wasn't easy.
But the next year, I got my first deer. I butchered it all by myself, hanging from an A-frame ladder out in the rain with a magazine, Field and Stream magazine open, a butcher knife in the other hand. How to butcher a deer. Cut here. Okay, cut here. Took that inside. Kay helped me. She was better about being a helpful maid at the time. She helped me butcher that deer.
I think you helped me turn my garden soil.
I did help you turn your garden soil. That was yes, I actually did help turn the garden soil. But that was it. I was like, I'll do that, but I'm not gonna garden. That was the spark. Then we moved out to the country and she wanted chickens. I just wanted some land to hunt. But when she got the chickens, I thought, you know what? I already butchered deer. It wouldn't be a big deal to butcher chickens.
But then we tried a few more layers. Got some meat birds. Austin really liked doing that. So then he was on a roll. He started with pigs.
And at that point, I was hooked. Meat chickens led to meat pigs. I needed more people to buy my products, so I needed to advertise. I started a podcast called Homesteady about 7 years ago next month. And this is the journey that started a decade ago in our apartment. We were in the apartment 0. That's how it all started. In a little apartment, we owned no land, we had nothing. Nobody gave us anything. We were renting in an apartment. We had a baby boy and a little spark, a hunter and a grower.
It's brought us to where we are now because we've got the experience. We have the online business, so we could move to a place where there's not much employment, where the cost of living's lower, but we can live here and we can survive here because of everything we've done over the past 10 years. Plus, it gave my family, whose farm it is, it was my great-grandfather's farm, it gave them the confidence to say, hey, could you come here and manage this property for us? This wouldn't have happened if we hadn't started somewhere. If we would have just walked around farmers markets as we were buying food for our family and pointed to the people who worked on these farms saying, oh, well, it must be nice, they can do that. Oh, it must be nice, they've got the land, they can do that.
We're just in an apartment, we can't do that.
It has to start somewhere. Must be nice your life away.
If you are motivated and you really want to start, but you just need some help, that's why we made the Start Homesteading Today course. It's a free 5-hour video course which will help you start today. If you're home watching this, you got more time on your hands, click there. That will take you to our email list. You'll fill out a 5-minute survey and then you get access to the whole course for free. It will help you start.
Starting's the hardest part, but fortunately, you're in a better place than we were 10 years ago. You've got so many homesteaders, farmers on YouTube or podcasts that you can watch or listen to that can help you down whatever path you want to go on.
And we're actually gonna get a ton of them together this coming Saturday. We have a special, what's probably gonna be a 3-hour live show called Don't Be Scared, Be Prepared. In this live show, we're gonna have lots of different faces you've seen on YouTube, some who are podcasters, some who are people you've seen on Homesteady in the past, with projects for you to get started homesteading and being more prepared. These will all be actionable projects, things you could actually start right now, whether you're in a little apartment or on 10 acres or on 1,000 acres. So make sure not to miss that. It's a live event on this channel, 5 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. It is free. Just come and watch, enjoy, chat it up in the comments section. I know you're gonna like that. We really want you and your family to take this chance, this pause in your regular day-to-day life and turn it into a life-changing for the good. Corona is gonna change all our lives. It already has. Make it long-term a change for the good.
So that's Saturday, March 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
And make sure to join our email list. I will send out a reminder before the show starts. Don't trust YouTube to remind you. It doesn't always do that. I'll send an email if you join that list saying, hey, we're gonna do the live show, don't miss it. And if you do miss the live show, you can always watch the rerun.
We're not gonna mount it up.
Don't let it fall. Sunny. Yeah, Daddy?
Can you go get some straw?
Where are the dogs?
That's in the feed room. Let's see. How's it look? Looks pretty darn good to me. Nice and level. That's a good height. It's high. And I think that'll be good. Now we have to make sure the baby bunnies can actually reach it.